and welcome to the 2023 Vectric Winter Make-Off. In this video, Todd, Ollie and myself, we're all going to go head to head and we're going to create 3 winter projects.
But there's some rules. We need to design, cut, and also finish it in 24 hours or in a day.
So we're only using the desktop version of the software, so all the projects need to be 24 inches or less.
And finally, the last rule is it's got to have a hand-painted element to it. So, what are you thinking?
Oh, I got some good ideas. Lots sort of based on my childhood and growing up.
Yeah?
And yeah, I got some good stuff, I think.
I think I'm going to go and browse the internet for inspiration.
That's a good starting point. I think I've got some nice, like, quiet, traditional ideas. Yeah, I think we should, well, we better get started, haven't we?
You know it. I'm pretty excited about this one this year, especially this easy project that we're doing. When I was a kid, my mom made some really cool felt decorations to go on our bedroom doors. Mine happened to be Santa's pants, and my sister's happened to be Mrs. Claus's bloomers. And I loved it. Every year we put up on our door, every year, and on our bedroom door, and it was just kind of a fun thing to do as a kid. But this year, I'm gonna do something a bit different. Got my drawing, and I'm gonna create an elf pair of trousers. And inside those trousers, you'll be able to tuck in some candy canes amongst his belt. That way the kids can not only have a cool decoration for their door, but they can have a treat every time they go in to get ready for Christmas.
So to start off with, I'm going to put some ideas together. My main concept at the moment is like a Santa elf cam.
I thought this year I wanted to do a real peaceful, quiet project. And I don't know why I'm saying it's peaceful or quiet, it just looks really cozy and nice. But it's a winter town scene, so it's going to be really just kind of 2D stuff. So I'm just doing 2D pockets. I'm going to think about doing just cutouts of like little houses, little town houses.
I like the colour of it. I think it will be nice with the paint, and it's quite hard wood, so it should cut really well. So the reason why I'm picking the wood first is so then I can draw my job area, because we haven't got much time today. So I'm just going to go into software, draw this exact job space area, and then I can get designing, and I know that it's going to be the exact size that I want. So
I chose pine, it's Todd's favourite material.
Pine, I hate pine!
Purely because the size of what we had, so it could fit on our machine. Also it's quite soft, so it's going to be quite easy to kind of cut through, and because I'm just making lots of them, I just wanted it kind of a quick and easy material to kind of machine into.
So I've gone ahead and taken a photo with my camera on my cell phone of this drawing that I did, and I brought it into VCarve desktop because that's the software I'm going to be using today to cut this project with. I've gone ahead and traced it up, and this is going to be a layered project. So I'm going to have layers of 6mm MDF that I'm going to glue together to build up this sort of 3D thing, or 2.5D 3D thing. So this is going to be the back layer, and I've got the legs kind of will lock themselves into place using this sort of jigsaw puzzle method, which I think is going to be kind of slick in the end. The next layer up is going to be a green layer. It's going to be his bottom of his shirt, and then the stripes on his socks and his little pom-poms on the end of his boots. Now with his belt, I'm going to cut those from the back side with pockets in it. So when I glue those together, back or face to face, then I'll have a little channel that I can go ahead and drop a candy cane into it. Fingers crossed. Now the final layer is going to be the actual belt buckle that's going to stick on top. Now the next part of my process is going to be to break those all up and fit them onto the working area of my material that I have on my CNC.
It's just a lot of node editing. So for example, putting in this into node mode to get the roof. Just take that and just bring it up, and you can see that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to help myself by drawing a line that goes through the centre. So I'm going to draw all of the windows on one side and then just flip them over about that line using the mirror tool.
A lot of the drawing I'm going to be doing is just drawing circles and then basically editing them to make the shapes that I want. It's really handy when you can overlap circles and stuff like that, and then just snip them, and then to create shapes like hands, for example.
Because I'm working on like a hobby size machine, I've got 3 different pieces of material that will enable me to put all of my houses onto. So I need to kind of separate them out onto their own sheets. So I've used the sheet feature in here, which is super handy because it just enables me to be able to see all of those sheets all in one space. Now, in terms of the toolpaths, all I'm doing is pockets, profiling, profiles with a V-bit to create some detail, like where bricks are, or the outlines of doors and that sort of thing. But I just wanted to show you a little tip here. So I have created all of my toolpaths, and I'm about to save them out. Now, we right click and say show, and then say show all with this tool, and it'll pull out all of those toolpaths that use that tool. So I can simply go in and save all of those toolpaths that use that same tool into one file, which is super cool. It's just a nice way of just pulling out the right tools for the right toolpaths that you need.
I have all of my vectors drawn for all the layers. Now I've broken them up onto the sheet and apply a little bit of thinking to it, and you know, my toolpaths and so on. So the first thing I want to point out is these little circles here. And this is one of the things that Becky does, so I stole her idea. I'll mark those with the V-bit so I can screw down the MDF, which is probably going to flex a bit. So that'll help me to make sure it's flat and also avoid any of our parts.
So today I'll be using an 1/8 inch end mill. You can then go around the design and just check that the tool's actually going to fit in all the spaces. So for example, in this space, you can see that tool is going to fit in there quite nicely, because otherwise you're just going to get jagged edges, or you're not going to get the full effect that you want.
So it's kind of like a bit of a keyhole, but I'm going to do it from the top side, and when I glue my face, this little green guy here, onto that, then I'm going to have a slight pocket in there, and you'll see that in a second when I preview my tooling. And I've also decided to add in a bit of a chamfer toolpath to give some 2.5D shape to some of these parts. A lot like I did with the snowman growth chart, which I think looked really sharp in the end, so we'll see how it goes with this. So we've got the extra screw holes, which is easy to look at. They're just looking at little divots in there, like that, and then we can go ahead and add in our chamfer toolpath. So we're going to do that V-bit first, that way there's less tool changes, obviously. And then we've got the screw head and the candy cane slot. So as a preview those, it's going to be with an end mill. So we've got this little slot up here that we're going to cut first, and that's what I mentioned before about being able to hold this on the door. And there are the slots for those candy canes there. And then I'm going to put in my last little cutout pass. It's going to cut all my parts with tabs. And then also is going to add in a hole all the way through up here. So when I put the screw head from the back side in, it'll catch on this top little bit to hold it onto my door. I'm going to use this, our big ooze nest over here. But as always, you should always keep the maintenance on these machines. We run these a lot, and the brushes have gone in the router. So I ordered some new brushes. Ooze Nest has sent them to me right away. So I just need to replace the brushes into my router, and then I can get going. So it'll just take about 10 minutes to do that. See the little thing there wore right down, and so the router wouldn't turn. But now they're all replaced, and listen to this. Music to my ears.
I'm using the one for the, so this one over here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the acrylic. So I've put the acrylic down, securing it with double-sided carpet tape. My favourite hold down for acrylic and things that can't be screwed in. It has a real strong hold. Well, it's time to save these toolpaths out. Need a USB.
Put your left foot in, you take your last right foot. First steps?
Yes.
I'm going to, once I get the machine all rewired up again, I'm going to go ahead and secure my MDF to the spoil board, and then literally it's just going to be cutting. It's going to shoot really fast.
Well, looks that way, obviously.
Slow down, slow down.
You lose.
2 tool changes, and most of the time is going to be taking up on the finishing. And unfortunately, Rebecca secretively is the best finisher in the house, so I'm up to a lot of competition here.
That's a lie. That is such a lie. Last cut of the day. 10 past 10. Hey, multi-material Bex.
It's good. That's going to be great.
So now we're going to switch to an 1/8 inch end mill, and we're going to cut all those parts out.
Just trying to get this machine up and running.
Dust extraction. This is a nice Hoover from Trend. It's a nice little piece of kit, so we're just going to plug it in and use it.
I'm going to put some double-sided tape down, stick it on there and start cutting.
I'm a little nervous, but I'm really not quite sure what she's making. So she might have a lot of finishing. I might catch up in the end. Although I got a lot of painting. Who knows?
So pocket toolpath with an 1/8 inch gem mill.
2 pieces of MDF, same size. I'm going to use one as a backing or as a sacrificial spoil board because of the way I'd made this mistake. I built the spoil board with these threaded inserts, and I don't want to hit them with my bit when I do my profile cut. So this will help to protect those.
Windows and the clock face, and then once that's done, so we're actually putting this first because when we come to cut out the houses, we can test that these little windows all fit into their pockets.
These wooden hold downs are perfect, made of just sort of extra plywood we have lying around, and this is a free project you can download from your Portal account, so you can make your own disposable hold downs. And what's also great about them is if you happen to hit them with your bit, you're not going to break your bit. So
everything's all set up, got the dust shoe on, done the Z0, the right tools in there, done the toolpath preview, so all ready to go.
Scroll here for a second where it's a little more quiet. It's really always important to make sure that you proof your toolpaths before you run them. I just noticed a catastrophic mistake I might have made if I didn't reset my datum to the bottom left. I've got it currently set to the center, and that would just be a miserable mess. So I want to make sure I check over all my tooling before I start.
Well, so when you're cutting acrylic, you don't just use any ordinary end mill. You want to really get a hold of an acrylic cutter tool, or one that just has a single flute. And the idea is that by having one flute and reducing your spindle or router speeds along with your feed rate and just going in little steps, you're creating less heat so that the acrylic doesn't heat up and kind of gum onto the tool.
Somebody stole my bits.
Snooze, you lose! I don't know, like I've seen him with some sweets, so I think it's something you put sweets on.
The best things come to those who wait, Neve. Come on. I'm going to run the toolpath for the extra screw holes and the chamfer toolpath around the belt buckle and some other parts. Should be really fast. I'm just mentally double checking all the steps to make sure I've done everything right. Got one shot at this.
You can see it's actually cut through. So I've got some tabs in place, so I'm going to take that off the machine. We're going to detab all of the tabs for each of those windows, and then we're going to take that off and then move on to cutting some houses.
I've just ran the chamfer toolpath on the belt buckle, the little pom-poms for the end of his shoes, and then the layers on his socks and boots. So now it's just one more toolpath to cut it all out. I'm done.
So I'm just cutting out all the red bits at the moment, and then it's onto the V-carve and then the V bit, and then just a profile, and that's it.
Don't use too much double-sided tape. I always over-engineer stuff, and I don't usually do that.
She was ahead of me.
To switch out the bits, so the end mill for the V bit. But first of all, let's have a look at how it's turned out. Ooh, look at that. So that's come out really well. It's all looking good, so get the V bit in there, and yeah, let's get cutting.
I will have to go ahead though and try and test my candy cane in his belt, and I might have to make those channels a little bit wider, but that's not a big thing. I have a backup plan if that doesn't work, because I can actually loop some ribbon around it and hook the candy cane onto the ribbon, so that might work okay. I did notice one thing though, I haven't cut all the way through, so I'm going to have to run a bit of an extra profile cut around the outside to take care of that.
I'm so behind. Everyone's racing ahead of me, but I keep... Wow, the acrylic took me ages.
Did we get extra marks?
It's not my fault, everyone wants to come and talk to me.
That's right, exactly. You're a popular Penelope over there.
Popular?
I don't know if that's the thing, but it is today's thing. I think if I make it too much bigger, I'm going to not have enough of a gap. So I'm going to leave them as it is and use my little string method. I think that'll be alright. Plus it'll be easy for the kids to take them off.
We're going to create 2 doors, and then following that we're then going to cut all of the windows out, all of this, and then we'll preview all of those, and then this is what we're aiming for. I'm cutting 4 sheets. These guys, it looks like they're only doing 1 sheet, so I reckon, yeah, maybe their finishing will take ages.
First of all, remember we talked about the candy cane. So his belt is going to be glued together like that, and that'll give us those little channels that hopefully we can slide a candy cane into. Kind of, the plastic wrapper gets in the way, so we'll have to make a little bit of an adjustment, but that's okay. I'm happy with that the way it is. And then also when it comes to the actual hook on the wall, when I glue these back to back, I'm going to be able to have a spot so I can actually put a screw in the wall and we can hang it up when we're all done.
I'm going to make a little change, okay? So, I actually quite like how my windows turned out just using the 1/4" end mill. So, to save myself more tool changes and time, I'm actually going to stick with the 1/4" tool because I think the windows look alright. I think just adding the 1/8" kind of radius isn't really going to do much difference, and I'm happy with how it is. So we're going to power on, but just using a 1 tool pocket strategy.
Profile cut and then getting it off the machine and finishing.
Okay, so that's the profile cut done. So we're going to unscrew the screws in the board, take it off, and then we'll load the next set on straight away. Whilst that's cutting, we can then detail all of these houses. But so far, so good.
That's what he's going to look like. So that's really good. I'm really excited.
Cool, so that's all done, all cut out. So all I need to do is just sand the last little bits, although to be honest it doesn't really need any sanding, and then it's on to finishing.
It has gone through, which is all good.
Yeah,
So it's good to check that, because
mainly
if it hasn't, then you want to just edit your toolpath, cut a little bit deeper until you cut through. It saves on so much, even though you think it's going to be quicker in the long run taking it off and then sanding it all up. The reality is it's probably much quicker for you to just edit the toolpath and then rerun it again. But we're okay, we've cut all the way through, so we don't need to do anything there. I'm just going to tidy this up, it's a bit messy, and then we're going to take it out, detab it, sand it up, and then that's all of the houses, or the townhouses, cut for the little town scene. We'll move on to finishing, where we're going to look at using some lime wax to give it a nice little shabby chic look.
So I've gotten to the point now where I can start to glue and to paint some parts. I don't have enough clamps really, or small clamps to clamp it all up, so I'm going to use some tape to kind of glue and then tape the parts together that I need to until it dries, so the belt, and then I can start to actually glue and sand up, or not sand up, but and paint some of the other parts before I glue them up. So it's going to be a mishmash of gluing, painting, and hopefully it'll all come together in the end.
Most of these pocketed bits are going to be red, the other bits are going to be white, and then some gold as well.
Right, and so we're going to move on to finishing, and I'm actually going to use a technique that Steph showed us at a 2021 user group meeting. And she had a table and she showed how you can use lime wax to create a real kind of shabby chic effect, and that's the same effect that I want to do on this kind of little winter town scene. So I'm just reminding myself how she did that by watching the video.
We're applying it with a paintbrush and some wire wool, so you'll see you only need a really
Okay, so I basically take a picture of the toolpath colours in the software. So I've got that there, that's just a reference point, and then I'm just going to start painting Santa. So I'm probably going to do the red first, so the lowest pocket first, and then work my way up.
Oh man, look at that. Picasso at work. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Works like a charm. Okay, so here I am. My candy canes, because they're kind of oddly shaped, don't always fit in the holes that I created. So what I've decided to do is to actually make little loops on here so I can hang the candy canes in his belt. So if you decide to make this on your own, 2 suggestions. One is make these a little bit bigger, the holes, or actually remove the fingers in between each hole That way you can get it in odd shaped candy canes in there without any problems at all. Ta-da! One Christmas project done. I'm pretty happy with that. It turned out okay, I think, in the end. I got lots of things to say about what I'd do next time around, but for right now, I'm really happy with it.
I'm just literally dabbing it in. Like Steph said in her original video, a little bit goes a long way. And we're just going to get a little bit of a coating. You can see we've already got a bit of a coating on the top now. And then we're just going to go around it with some wire wool afterwards. You can see it's like the effect we've got so far. But then the wire wool should give it more of like that kind of brushed away look as well. With the windows, we're going to spray them with some glitter. Done a test. It's going to give us a nice glitzy effect, but yeah, it's, you know, sort of translucent. So I'm going to spray these, and I've also got a round one that I'm missing. So we'll go find that, we'll spray it, and then we'll put them all in, and then that's pretty much just it.
Okay, so I've done all the painting, I've got the lens ready, so I'm just going to glue the lens onto the centre.
There we have it. It's the last project of the day and the last one, but managed to beat the day one challenge. So let's regroup and see what everyone else has made. Right then, so there we have it, end of the day. Woo, that was a close one for me.
Oh, wow.
They look awesome. Everyone's projects look amazing. I love I feel like you two got the harder deal with the paintwork. Mine was pretty easy.
Yeah, well, yours looks really good though.
It's really smart.
Yeah, I think it's gonna look really nice on a mantle. Yeah, it's a beautiful piece of work, that's for sure. Yeah, lots of fun.
I really like this project. It's quite a basic project. It's literally just pockets and profiles. I'm actually glad I made the decision midway through machining to kind of pull out the clearance tool. Otherwise I don't think I'll be here right now. I would definitely have lost the challenge.
Yeah, so I'm really happy how mine turned out. If I wanted to save a little bit more time, so if you needed a bit more painting time, I could have used the clearance path, so basically using a 1/4 inch end mill instead of an 1/8 inch end mill to clear out the bigger bits.
I love the way, it was important that I used the layers to make sure that everything all lined up and everything in the software, which was nice. And also sort of a byproduct of that was it made it really easy to paint because I had all these little bits I could just paint before I glued it up, which was quite nice. I probably wouldn't use MDF next time around. I'd make it something a little nicer. I think maybe it'd be a little bit better and maybe last a little bit longer. And if I had to put a little more thought into, well actually, to be fair, candy canes aren't as perfect as I thought they would be, so even if I had nailed the holes, I don't know if they actually would have fit in properly. So the little string thing I did, I think, was really great. But overall, you know, I'm really happy with it. And the hanger on the back, that sort of double-sided thing I did, that worked out really well. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. So it's a nice sort of alternative to the keyhole cutter thing. But yeah, but all these projects are really great, and I'm really quite jealous of how well these two guys turned out. I was kind of hoping they turned out worse than what they did. They're really nice.
And you've still got all your candy canes left.
Well, I actually, almost. I ate 2 on the way. So yeah, anyway.
We'll have to check the santacam.
Yeah.
That's right. Exactly.
Hey, great job, babe.
Yeah, that's great. So I can't wait for our next installment of this. So please tune in for our next session of this year's Christmas Make-Off.
And if you like this video, then please give us a thumbs up. And if you've not yet subscribed to our channel, then please hit that subscribe button to get instant updates on the latest videos that we'll be releasing. So thank you for watching.
Yes.
And happy making.
Yeah.